is so sick, by the way. What's up, YouTube? It's me. Everyone calls me Sook, and today I'm showing you cheap things to help you improve your X5 ownership experience. I've had my car for just over 4.5 years now, coming up on 5 years, and I've tried more than a few things to help me really dial in my own ownership experience. So today I want to show you those. Let's get right into it. Now, real quick before I begin, all of the products I'll show you will be linked down in the description, so you can grab those yourself easily too. The first thing I want to talk about, and really this is helpful in any car, not just a BMW X5, but this one is going to be Apple CarPlay. CarPlay specifically for iPhone users and specifically for the X5, because that's all it's capable of, is really a game changer for your ownership experience. Anyone who's used CarPlay and then gone to a car that doesn't have it will likely say the same thing. It's just really makes your life easier in terms of using all the functions like phone, music, what have you. The X5, depending on the year, will have mine, for example, being a 17 with NBT Evo, has a touchscreen, but I really like using the scrolly wheel. So I still use the knob for everything, even though my screen is a touchscreen. But, Apple CarPlay, again, is one of the bigger things. As I mentioned, if you have a 17 or an 18, you can get it through connected drive directly because you'll have an NBT Evo head unit. But if you have a pre-2017 car, you can grab either a replacement screen from somewhere like Xtrons or 4x4shop.ca, or what I've personally done in my family members' cars is I've put road top MMI boxes behind the dash. So these will intercept the signal between the main media unit and the screen and allow you to use your OEM functions and enable Apple CarPlay. So like I said, I've used this road top box on 2 family members' cars, and they still use it to this day and think it's great. So highly recommend CarPlay if you don't have it already. Either get it through connected drive, pay that $300 fee if you're based in North America, or if you don't have a 2017 car, get that MMI box. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be for your phone. So you've got the CarPlay in the car, but you need a mounting solution for the phone. Most phones nowadays, if they're iPhones, will have MagSafe. If they're Androids, a lot of them have magnetic capabilities now, or you can get little rings to, put on the back of them. But I use a Belkin MagSafe mount directly that ties into the vent here. You can see that my phone is just right in front of me. I've got the screen right above it, so if I need to interact with the phone for whatever reason, it's right there. I like having the charging access really easy right below it. There's multiple MagSafe solutions out there. I may actually be modifying this one a little bit soon because I want to run the cable behind the dash so it doesn't stick out like this and show here. So I'm actually one of my next projects is gonna be to take the dash out and pull the media unit out so I can snake the cable behind there and just make it look cleaner. Highly recommend a MagSafe solution for your phone if you don't already have one. Item number 3 is something that I found actually quite a few years ago, just searching around for little accessories, and it's actually just something for your center bin, and it's just a storage tray. So this storage tray is going to be something that's very cheap, and it specifically only works if you don't have the factory wireless charging package on your car, because in the center console storage area, the factory wireless charging unit will take up the room that the storage tray is going to use. So as you can see in my storage tray, I keep my Bluetooth dongle, my MHD adapter. I got a little hand sanitizer in here. We have to pay tolls, so I keep my toll pass in here. But it's a really handy unit. I wanted something to help me organize that pocket a little bit. And again, since I don't have the wireless charger option, I was able to fit this in there. If you do have the wireless charger, I suggest you just rip that unit right out. There's some DIYs on the internet on how to do that. It's really not that useful in my opinion. I've seen reports about how, it doesn't really do a good job of charging the phones and so on. So I would recommend you just rip that unit out if you have it in your car and just replace it with this storage tray if you can. All right, related to that tray, or one of the things I showed you in that tray, is going to be the next thing I want to talk about, which is the Beamer Code dongle and app combination. So I use a OBD Link CX dongle paired with the Beamer Code and Beamer Link apps, and these are really useful for if you want to code things like remote windows down with your key fob using Beamer Code. I used Beamer Code in the expert mode to code the paddles on my car when I first did the steering steering wheel retrofit. Beamer Link is really useful because I needed to reset, service functions when I work on the car, or, register batteries, or just really view, service and logging dashboards. It's really useful for that. So highly recommend a Bluetooth dongle. There's many of them out there. I actually also have an MHD eNet adapter for flashing my tune and stuff, but I prefer to use this dongle, this OBD Link CX one, just for, basic Beamer code and Beamer Link functions, because it's pretty reliable and I've not had any issues with it. So that's one thing I definitely recommend. I just keep it in my storage tray here, so it's always with me, and Beamer Link and Beamer code are on my phone, so should the odd light come on, or I get a drivetrain malfunction or a chassis malfunction, I can just pull over wherever I am and I can just bring it up and scan the code and clear it if I need to, or gather more information, whatever, All right, the last couple things we're going to talk about are useful tools to have in your arsenal for your X5, and the first thing is going to be a portable tire inflator. So this one is one by Fantic that I've had for probably 2 years now, and I've always keep it in the car when I'm traveling long distances, always take it with me really if I'm going on a road trip, for example, or if when the seasons change and tire pressures drop, it's super helpful for that type of thing. I even had an instance, a couple years ago when I had a slow leak in the passenger rear tire, and I had to drive the car from Kansas City to Virginia for a family function, and I just couldn't get a tire because it was over Thanksgiving. So I just kept this in the car, and every morning I would just top it up to the standard pressure that I keep, and then, be on my way for travels. And then that fortunately, kept me going until I got home and was able to get a new tire, because, Thanksgiving finding a 315/3520 Continental DWS06 was kind of hard. Highly recommend a tire inflator. I'm a big fan of the Fantic line of products, and, this one has charges by USB-C, can also charge a device if you need to, and, does great. So highly recommend a tire inflator. If you don't have one, keep it in your car for road trips, emergencies, things like that. The last item I want to talk about today is another useful tool for your arsenal to help with your ownership experience, and that's going to be a battery jump pack. So this is one by Noco called the Boost Plus. I keep this in the car, again, mostly for long journeys, emergency type situations. I actually keep that in the car when I go to car shows, because I'll turn the light bar on and it strobes and stuff like that, and God forbid, I kill the battery when I'm at a show or something like that. So I'll keep that in the car and just, ready as needed. Also a good tool for the wintertime. It gets really bitter cold here in Chicago, and, I haven't replaced the battery on this car yet. Granted, I keep it on the charger, so that's helped me prolong its life quite a bit for a couple of years. But should, in an event where I'm out in this car or even in my wife's car, right? Like, I should probably keep one in both cars, to be honest. But having this tool in your arsenal for your ownership experience is going to be great, because, again, better to have it and not need it than to not have it and, be stuck in a situation. And that goes for the tire inflator too, I think, and even Beamer code. But these are tools you want in your arsenal, because you're going to run into situations, even in home, in your garage, where, I need to top up a tire. Even my father-in-law and my dad and, my mom, they run into these things, and I got them to buy a tire inflator, right? So these are useful things to keep at home or in your car or what have you. That's it for today's video. I just wanted to share these things that I've come across in my almost 5 years of ownership of the X5, and I truly believe that these items will make your ownership experience better and will provide you some type of benefit in the form of a convenience, such as things like CarPlay and, the MagSafe mount, or helping you, with your car in the form of that tire inflator or Beamer Link and the dongle and so on, right? Again, I recommend all of these products. I paid for all of these products out of my own pocket. I've tried many variations of these things, and these are the ones I've landed on and have stuck with over the years. So highly recommend all of these. As always, I appreciate the support, the encouragement to keep going. Please like, subscribe, comment on what your favorite accessory you saw today was, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.